You put good stuff in, you will have good stuff in. And it will push the trash. So what God wants for you is what I want for you. He wants you to get on a budget, because Jesus said, don't build a tower without first counting the cost, lest you get halfway up and you're unable to finish. And all who see you begin to mock you and say, this man began to build and was unable to finish. You get on a budget so that you can live on less than you make, because a foolish man devours all he has. You live on less than you make so you can get out of debt, because the rich rules over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. You get out of debt so you've got money to save for an emergency, because in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil. You feeling the displacement yet?
You know, in ancient times, people relied on the Holy Scriptures for all aspects of life. But today, we often see these books purely as spiritual guides. After reading the Bible, I believe that if you follow all the lessons that I'm going to cover in this video, it will make you rich. Now I know what you're thinking, how can the Bible make me rich? But stay with me, because what I'm about to share could change your life. I'll start by sharing 5 lessons from Jesus, and then we'll explore the life of Solomon, who is mentioned in the Bible hundreds of times. From his life, we'll uncover what we can learn to improve our financial health. In the end, I'll reveal the most important financial mistake people make according to the Bible, and how avoiding it can set you on the true path to wealth. We'll explore why seeking wisdom is more valuable than gold, how diligent action can multiply your wealth, and the powerful impact of a grateful heart. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to integrate these principles into your daily life for lasting financial success. So let's get started. Let's start with the teachings of Jesus. Jesus' teachings, especially in the Sermon on the Mount, provide invaluable advice on financial management. Here are 5 lessons from Jesus that can help us improve our financial lives and achieve prosperity. First, Jesus taught us to be generous. Give to the one who asks you, but do not turn away from those who want to borrow from you. Matthew 5:42. Helping others is an important part of living a fulfilling life. Generosity opens doors and creates goodwill, which can lead to unexpected opportunities. By being generous, you build a network of people who are willing to support you, and this can lead to business opportunities, partnerships, and even financial support when you need it the most. Second, Jesus advised us not to be showy with our generosity. When you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Matthew 6:3. True generosity is quiet and sincere, not done for praise. This means that when you give without seeking recognition, your actions are more genuine and impactful. This sincerity builds trust and respect among others, which is important for long-term relationships and business partners. People are more likely to support and invest in someone they perceive as genuine and trustworthy. Third, Jesus warned against storing treasures on earth. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19. This doesn't mean you shouldn't save or invest, but it means your focus should be on long-term, meaningful wealth that can't be taken away. Investments in knowledge, skills, relationships, and your health are examples of long-term treasures. These are less vulnerable to external risks and can provide continuous returns throughout your life. Fourth, Jesus taught that, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:21. Your spending habits reveal your priorities. Make sure your priorities align with your values. This means that if you value financial freedom, you should prioritize saving and investing over unnecessary spending. By aligning your spending with your values, you ensure that your financial decisions contribute to your long-term goals. This discipline helps you build wealth steadily and purposefully. Fifth, Jesus said you can't serve both God and money. No one can serve 2 masters. You cannot serve both God and money. Matthew 6:24. This means that you should prioritize spiritual wealth over material wealth. By focusing on spiritual and personal growth, you create a foundation that supports sustainable financial success. When your values are in the right place, you are less likely to make impulsive or unethical financial decisions. Instead, you will make choices that are not only financially sound, but also align with your moral and ethical beliefs. These teachings from Jesus provide a blueprint for building not just wealth, but a fulfilling and balanced life. By being generous and sincere, focusing on long-term investments, aligning your spending with your values, and prioritizing spiritual growth, you set yourself up for sustainable financial success. These principles help create a strong foundation for wealth that can withstand the tests of time and adversity. Now let's look at Solomon. Solomon is one of the most talked about figures in the Bible because of his incredible wisdom. He's been mentioned over 300 times, and people sought him out far and wide to hear his advice. Solomon's teachings are a treasure trove of financial wisdom that can still apply to us today. Solomon's life is an excellent example of how Jesus' teachings on wealth can be applied. Jesus often referred to Solomon's wisdom and wealth to illustrate his points. In Matthew 6:29, Jesus said, "Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these." This highlights how even Solomon, with all his wealth, was surpassed by God's natural provision. So how did Solomon become so wise and wealthy? It all began when Solomon became king. He was young and felt inadequate to rule such a vast nation. One night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream and said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." 1 Kings 3:5. Instead of asking for wealth or a long life, Solomon asked for wisdom to govern his people effectively. God was so pleased with this request that he granted Solomon unparalleled wisdom and also gave him wealth, honor, and a long life. Solomon's story shows that wisdom is the foundation of wealth. Proverbs 16:16 says, "How much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver." Wisdom and discernment are essential because they help you make better financial decisions. Solomon's wisdom was evident in how he managed his kingdom's resources, engaged in trade, and built the magnificent temple in Jerusalem. Solomon's wealth wasn't just because he was king. It was because he applied certain principles that are hidden within the Bible. Let's break down 3 main teachings from Solomon that helped him amass such wealth. First, Solomon understood the importance of seeking wisdom above all else. His request for wisdom over riches showed that his priorities were in the right place. By valuing wisdom, he laid the foundation for all his future success. Proverbs 4:7 says, "The beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding." Next, Solomon's wealth secrets include taking action. Proverbs 10:4 states, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." Solomon understood that wisdom alone isn't enough. You need to act on it. He diversified his investments and worked diligently to grow his wealth. He engaged in extensive trade, accumulated gold, and established prosperous economic policies. Lastly, Solomon emphasized the importance of a grateful and sincere heart. He acknowledged God's kindness and maintained a sincere and grateful attitude, which is key to attracting and maintaining wealth. This ties into the teachings of Jesus, who also emphasized the importance of gratitude and sincerity. Solomon's dedication to God, shown by his building of the temple and his numerous sacrifices, highlighted his gratitude. By seeking wisdom, taking diligent action, and maintaining a grateful heart, Solomon exemplified how to achieve both spiritual and material prosperity. Just like Jesus and Solomon taught, these principles can lead us to a prosperous and fulfilling life. Let's move on to some habits from the Bible that can lead to prosperity. There are a few key habits that, if practiced, can help you grow financially. First, diversify your income sources. The Bible says, "Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle. For you do not know which will succeed." Ecclesiastes 11:6. This means you shouldn't rely on just one source of income. Instead, explore different skills and opportunities to ensure you have multiple streams of income. For example, if you have a full-time job, consider starting a side business or investing in stocks as real estate. Diversifying your income reduces risk and increases your chances of financial success. If one income stream fails, others can support you, providing a safety net and potential for growth. Second, invest wisely. The parable of the talents teaches us that we should multiply the resources we're given. In the parable, a master gives his servants money to invest. The servants who invest wisely and multiply their master's money are rewarded, while the one who hides his money out of fear is punished. This parable teaches the importance of investing and making your money work for you. Start learning about investments such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate. Wise investments can grow your wealth over time and provide a stable financial future. Third, plan your finances. Jesus said, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it?" Luke 14:28. Financial planning is essential to avoid waste and ensure stability. Create a budget to track your income and expenses, set financial goals, and plan for major expenses. This helps you avoid debt, save for the future, and make informed financial decisions. A well-thought-out financial plan provides direction and helps you stay on track with your financial goals. Fourth, create an emergency fund. Ecclesiastes 9:1 says, "No one knows when their hour will come. It's wise to save for unexpected expenses." An emergency fund acts as a financial buffer that protects you from unforeseen events such as job loss, medical emergencies, or urgent home repairs. Financial experts recommend having at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in an easily accessible account. Having an emergency fund ensures that you don't have to rely on credit cards or loans in times of crisis, helping you maintain financial stability. Having multiple sources of income, investing wisely, planning your finances, and setting up an emergency fund are all important habits to get and stay financially successful. By doing these things, you can build a strong financial base that will help you be wealthy and stable in the long term. Always keep in mind that the Bible's wisdom is timeless and, when followed, can lead to a happy and successful life. Now let's talk about some common financial pitfalls that the Bible warns us about. These are habits that can lead to financial ruin if not avoided. First, don't spend everything you earn. Ecclesiastes 7:12 says, "Wisdom is a shelter as money is a shelter, but the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it." Save a portion of your income to protect yourself from unforeseen events. Second, be clear of debt. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." Avoid unnecessary debt and aim to live within your means. Third, think long term. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Plan for the future and make financial decisions that will benefit you in the long run. Fourth, don't just pray and do nothing. James 2:17 says, "Faith by itself, if not accompanied by action, is dead." Prayer is powerful, but it must be coupled with action. Take steps towards your financial goals while trusting in God's guidance. Finally, let's cover 3 major financial mistakes that people often make, according to the Bible. First, don't view work as punishment. Genesis 2:15 shows that Adam was working even before the fall. Work is a divine order, not a punishment. Approach your work with a positive attitude and see it as a way to serve God. Second, don't believe that money is evil. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." It's not that money itself is bad, but the love of it. Use money as a tool for good, not as an end in itself. Third, don't think money isn't important. Money is needed to sustain yourself and your family. The Bible has over 100 laws related to money, showing that it is significant. Recognize its importance and manage it wisely. By understanding these teachings and applying them to our lives, we can achieve a balanced spiritual and financial life. I hope you find these biblical principles for financial prosperity helpful. What steps will you take to apply these teachings in your life? Do you have any other favorite biblical lessons that have helped you financially? Share your thoughts in the comments below.